What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Jake Shavink here, and hope you guys enjoy today's video. It's going to be a really good one, a collaborative Packers mock draft with the guys at Couch Potato General Manager. I'm going to link all their stuff in the description if you want to check them out. They do a lot of great draft stuff as well. They invited me on to do a Packers mock. This was a little while ago, so a little bit before free agency, and they like to do a mock free agency with their stuff. So obviously there will be some signings on there that may affect the draft a little bit, but I don't think too much. If you hear us mention Juan Thornhill and Robert Woods, those guys were signed in that mock offseason. But I think overall, I don't think a whole lot changes, and I think there's some really fun picks in there. I will also link the timestamps for the actual selections, but there's a lot of great discussion in there. I encourage you to hopefully watch it all. I cut it down as much as I could, but it's going to be a longer one. But hope you guys enjoy it. And, leave a like, subscribe, comment what your favorite pick was, and enjoy.
So let's see how it all plays out here. All right. And without further ado, let's get it started.
Let's get it.
Will Anderson in the top. Will Levis, Tyree Wilson, Stroud, Carter, Christian Gonzalez, who had a wonderful combine, Quentin Johnson, Witherspoon, Skoronski, Addison, Paris Johnson, Joey Porter Jr.
Of course.
Jake, JSN right there, man.
Oh, man.
What's your thought process here?
Well, I think it'd be really interesting if this happened and Rodgers wasn't on the team because Anthony Richardson's still on the board.
Right.
Oh, boy.
Right.
Could you imagine that quarterback room? Oh, man, Packers Twitter. They're already finding this video. Haven't even mentioned that. Not great. But no, I think there are a lot of nice options here. I think in terms of edge, I think there were a couple guys. I think Van Ness is still on the board, if I saw correctly. I think Broderick Jones on the board as well. That is somebody I think the Packers would really like. Obviously, they like Georgia players. That's very clear. With Bakhtiari, is he going to play after this season? Maybe. If not, if his number has gotten too big, maybe you're moving on. That leaves, if they bring back Josh Nijman, which, I mean, sounds like that's probably going to happen. He's obviously restricted, so that it'll be an offer sheet, that whole thing. But
sure,
him and Zach Tom, how good do you feel about that? 2024 and beyond. They've also mentioned Zach Tom is his best position is center. So
he plays all five, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And yes, he's more of an interior guy at the NFL level. I'd agree.
Yeah. So tackle's the thing that definitely jumped out initially. Just seeing Jones as one of the three still on the board and is yet to do what I think a lot of us expect him to do on Sunday is go and absolutely have
special
maybe not quite a Jordan Davis type day, but more of maybe a Devontae Wyatt type day where the numbers look really good for him. And
could you see a scenario? Because it looks like the Packers may be in the sweet spot in terms of all those players on the board and somebody, dropping, them trading back a couple of spots, take a couple more picks. And you think that's a possibility?
I love trading back. Trading back's great. Get a lot of more swings in the 20s. You get a swing there. You get some swings on day two. That I think if you're not, it feels like anyway, if you're not in the top 11, 12, depending where that third tackle comes off the board, it feels like the sweet spot then shifts away from the middle of that first round into the 20s, 30s, 40s, where you can pick up a lot of guys, a lot of swings.
Jones is on the board. Jones is on the board.
Yeah, tackle is definitely a position in need for the Packers. But what do you think about the tight end position, Jake? Because you could get the pick of the litter right here. Mayer, Kincaid, Washington still all on the board.
Yeah, I know it's been really fun to talk about like the Kincaids or the Musgraves in the first round. Like that's been a lot of talk lately. But like Michael Mayer's going to be a great athlete tomorrow when he tests. Like I think we're kind of like sick of him, I guess.
Yeah. It's like fatigue.
It's not.
Somehow
sexy.
We're sick of him. We're calling it. We called him Baby Gronk a year ago, but now we're sick of him. We don't want to talk about him anymore for some reason.
Right.
He's a great player. Like this would be an instantly fix the middle of the field for you.
Yeah.
Instantly fix the middle of the field for you. And I think Rodgers has done the peaks and valleys thing with how he feels about the middle of the field. I think he was kind of bought in 19, 20, 21. this past year is kind of like, I'm just throwing up the perimeter. I'm throwing it to Watson. I'll throw it to my guys deep. Like he kind of middle field felt, kind of like, a growing distant friend of some sort to him. And like, it was like, let's
seeing it as well.
Let's make him a friend again with the middle of the field,
He wasn't seeing it as well as he has in the past. There were some instances where Rodgers just missed some open receivers. You know what I mean? With some of those levels concepts, it just, for whatever reason, I don't know, of course, if you go back to the Mike McCarthy days, there was a lot of throws to the perimeter, a lot of low percentage throws that, of course, given his talent and Devontae Adams and, you could go further back with the Jordy Nelsons and so on and so forth, they were able to complete that more often than not. But you would think a quarterback of his stature, if you use the entire field, he'll be that much more effective. So it's a very interesting point that you made. He just, for whatever reason, just shied away from it, and he missed some opportunities that were clearly available to him in the middle of the field. So, what do you want to do here, Jay? A lot of options. What do you want to do?
There are a lot of options, and it feels like the trade down might be the best option. I think it gives you another swing here or there, and I think you still land somebody I think that you'd probably covet. I mean, I think bringing Ford back really eases things where you don't have to force safety at 15.
With a Brian Branch, per se.
Yeah, or in the 20s even if he were to fall there in a trade back. So I think it gives you some flexibility where if you're like hyper focused on tackle and tight end, you feel like there's some depth there. I know we talked about Broderick Jones, but if Anton Harrison's there in the 20s, I wouldn't hate that either at all. Like that's something
I like Harrison a lot.
Yeah. I don't know why we're not talking about him more. We probably will be after the numbers come in athletically.
Once the testing is all said and done. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And then they'll be like, oh, the film's good too. Yeah, it's crazy. So, yeah, I think the move back might make sense. I know Van Ness there. Someone might want to come up and get Van Ness if we feel like, edge feels pretty good, but we want to add a name there, but we don't feel confident. And I think the trade back might be something that I would lean towards.
Hadley, Drew, you on board with the trade back?
Yeah, I'm fine with it. Like there's a lot of players. I think the only scenario where we don't trade back and we have to select somebody that probably won't be on the board is the tackle Broderick Jones. But Anton Harrison, I have him graded the same exact grade as Broderick Jones. They have the same grade for me, so I wouldn't be mad at Anton Harrison.
Okay, Drew, where do we trade back to?
That's a good question, man. Go to tackles real quick. I just want to see something. All right, and go to tight end real quick.
They're all there.
No, I'm just looking at the range. Just looking at the range.
Tight end is deep too. That's a deep class. So
yeah, it is a deep class.
You get Musgrave maybe in the second round. You got Tucker Kraft, Sam Laporta. A lot of good tight ends.
Seattle want to come get Richardson?
Interesting. They did go Carter. With the 5th overall pick, if I'm not mistaken.
Let's drop back to Seattle. Can we drop back to Seattle?
Seattle? All right. Let's see what kind of.
Seattle.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
See what happens. Jackson Smith and Jigba, followed by Richardson, Brzee, Michael Mayer, Luke Van Ness.
Oh, man.
Oh, my gosh.
We lost a lot of guys right there.
Yeah.
Broderick Jones, and Broderick Jones remains on the board, if I'm not mistaken.
Gotta do it.
This feels like, yeah.
Broderick Jones it is.
Let's get him.
Pull the trigger.
All right. Hyatt, Bijan to Baltimore. Had not seen that recently, but I think it makes sense to a degree.
Talk about the running back situation.
Yeah, we got a little bit of a wait here. Not a long one, but a little bit of a wait here. I don't know, man. I might have gone back to that Dallas trade. That's just me though. Particularly how you had Anton Harrison and Broderick Jones pretty close there.
Did Harrison go?
Yeah, Kansas City, I think.
Kansas City, yeah. I think
you're in front
of Kansas City. Yeah, you're in front of Kansas City.
You got your second round pick.
Because they have the Orlando Brown situation over there. So, all right, we're back on the clock here. 45th overall, Broderick Jones in tow. What's your thought process here, Jake? Tight end?
What's a tight end?
Tight end.
Musgrave.
Receiver.
Musgrave, Kraft.
Edge, Aduke, Will McDonald,
Foskey
Derek
went like
Hall.
3 picks earlier, I think, something like that.
Yeah, that's rough.
That would have been a really nice fit there.
I would agree. I would agree.
What's interior D line look like there?
Interior D line.
Oh,
Well, they got
Mazi.
this guy sitting out here who's not.
I like Mazi too.
An edge.
Oh yeah,
but Mazi is out here.
Oh, man, you get to flank Mazi Smith with Wyatt and Clark on your 5-man fronts.
Yep.
Oh man, that's a tough one to pass up there.
Want to go Mazi?
Yeah, and the Packers fans who want like all the weapons to come in the first 2 rounds are gonna be loving this.
They're gonna be sick. They're gonna be sick.
This is a couch potato GM special here, though.
Yes, it is.
Broderick Jones and Mazi Smith.
Yes,
it is. Man.
The trenches.
Trenches,
CPGM
man.
special.
Trenches.
I like it.
You like the Mazi Smith? Hadley and Drew, you on board with the Mazi Smith?
I do.
Yeah, I'm on board with the Mazi Smith.
All right,
I'm gonna take a dig though. You know, I always got to take a dig, right? So
take a dig.
For Mazi, I like him. I wanted to see him finish more. That was really one of my biggest things with him. Just finish more, man, because I think he could have made more plays. But you know, he's a guy that I do like a lot. But yeah, I ain't mad at the pick. I like it.
Getting the trenches right in Green Bay. Jake, you mentioned it, you know, that there's a concern about Bakhtiari long term and who's playing opposite Bakhtiari. There's question marks there. And then Green Bay has struggled to stop the run.
Yes.
You know, for several consecutive seasons, they've really struggled to control the line of scrimmage on the defensive side of the ball. So particularly when you're playing in Green Bay, that cold weather, you'd like to be able to run the football with Aaron Jones, AJ Dillon, and then of course stop the run. So certainly understand that pick of Mazi Smith there. It's not a bad offer.
Wow. 99 and 102.
We will see if San Francisco is willing to re-engage here after we take a good look at what's available to us. So you got that man out here. We went Mazi Smith, but we got that man out here. Jack Campbell had a strong combine as well. I believe his stock is climbing.
You guys out there?
Yeah.
Chris Smith is out there,
man. It's your guy. I know he didn't test well, but
yeah, he did not. That was unfortunate. I was hoping for a faster time today. I thought we were going to see a little bit faster time.
I think the safeties collectively didn't test as well, you know, from a 40 perspective than what we were kind of anticipating.
What's it look like past Chris Smith?
Let's take a look. Battle Jamie Robinson, Sidney Brown, who I love. I know Jamie Robinson is a huge Headley guy. Brandon Joseph, Jayir Brown, he struggled from a testing perspective, but solid tape there. I like Brandon Joseph, what he does in coverage. No Adrian Amos, as we mentioned, and Darnell Savage is going into the last year his deal. So we do have one safety position locked down, but I think it's a position we certainly can address here.
It is. There's a lot. I think there's a lot there.
Yeah, the depth is there, right? Yeah. And we have another pick in 5 selections. So.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Zach Harrison's definitely a Green Bay guy.
Yes, he is. Yeah, that's a Packer.
Oh yeah,
that is a Packer.
Oh yeah.
Go back to the tight end conversation here. Tucker Kraft.
Tucker Kraft. I know you was on Tucker Kraft early.
Yeah, I think if the Pack, it's going to be interesting to see how tight end goes for the Packers, because I think like you guys said, like Mayer in the 20s, I feel like I would be very, very comfortable with doing something like that. I think after that, probably those high testers are going to, you know,
sure.
Like Musgrave is going to, you know, probably run his way, potentially out of range of 45.
Right.
Yeah.
And for a position that feels like requires development and requires, you know, multiple seasons in tow, it feels like this is more of where the Packers might look the sweet spot at. And I wouldn't be mad at Kraft or Laporta here in one of the next 2 selections, because we got 2 pretty quick on the turnaround.
We go Porter and a safety. I mean, Porter and safety. We go tight end and a safety. Back to
Good.
back. Or
What's
safety
receiver
tight end.
look like?
She Rice, Nathaniel Dell, Cedric Tillman are your top three. I think Tyler Scott is kind of like a Green Bay type of guy. Jaden Reed. There's some good receivers available. There are some good receivers available. Even if you want to
his butt off in Green
Mhm.
Bay, sounds about right.
Yeah,
as well. I think Hutchinson will be somebody Green Bay likes as well.
That's true.
And expand the catch radius type of player. Like, I mean, he's going to give Rodgers or the young QB a friendly target to throw to.
So I got Michael Wilson out there a little bit later.
It's true.
As long as he tests well, he'll be all right. He'll fly the board. He's got to test well.
Great. Haley, what's your thought process?
If you look at tight ends, Tucker Kraft, Sam Laporta, those guys are pretty good. I think we could probably wait a little bit if we want to add a receiver. Like you guys just mentioned, Michael Wilson. We saw him at the Senior Bowl, man, and the twitch, the size, he has it all. You just got to stay healthy. Safety positions, like I said, man, I got like Chris Smith, Jamie Robinson, Sidney Brown, Jayir. Is Jayir still out there?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Jayir Brown. I got them all kind of lumped in, grouped together. I like any one of those guys, so we could potentially wait for safety a little bit. So
let's get that tight end.
Yeah,
let's get the tight end. Let's get the tight end. So, Jake, you decide, man. Tucker Kraft, Sam Laporta. Who's it going to be?
Oh man, I feel like I want to take Tucker Kraft here. I do. I think the athletic upside that he offers. I know a lot of people maybe a little bit soured on how he blocks. I think he's been pretty good as far as, especially at FCS level. I think he's been a pretty good point of attack in line. I think he can be that type of player, be a Y and flex out to an F. I think he can do both. I have this feeling though that I feel like Laporta would be more of what the Packers would look at than Kraft. Just a feeling that they might look there, but I would probably lean Tucker Kraft.
Tucker Kraft. Yeah, I would agree with Jake.
You on board with that, Drew?
I'm looking at us thinking about Sam Laporta, and I would agree with him in terms of who the Packers would probably go after, fit more of their mold. But that upside for Kraft
I think Kraft's a better the receiver option. My weakness on Kraft was the blocking. That stuff. I think Laporta might be a better blocker than him, but as far as pure pass catching and receiving, Tucker Kraft.
Listen, Mercedes Lewis will live forever. Let's go Tucker Kraft. Wicks, Hutchinson, Brandon Joseph, one pick. Jay.
And I would target Davis Allen later as your blocker, because I know Mercedes Lewis, that was one big thing that Aaron Rodgers appreciated about Mercedes Lewis's ability to block. So I think Allen can be that guy for them.
Those damn Bucks, Drew.
Hey man, we do what we do, bro.
They got a good one right there.
They did get a good one. A lot of intriguing players here on the board. We have Broderick Jones after a trade down, Mazi Smith, Tucker Kraft. And as part of that trade down, we acquired the 83rd overall pick, and that's where we sit now. We talked about safety, tight end and safety. We're kind of bouncing back and forth. A pair of safeties came off, Jayir Brown as well as Christopher Smith. Still leaves us with Jamie Robinson, Sidney Brown, Jordan Battle. His star is kind of diminished a little bit, but he's available, as well as J.L. Skinner. And then I think there's a fairly significant drop after
Jayir Brown's on the board
Brown.
too.
Yeah, after Jayir Brown, there's a fairly significant drop.
I saw a cornerback with a 4.27, I believe, on the board here.
Yo. DJ Turner. Elite speed.
Oh man. Helly, give me your thoughts on Turner, man.
On tape, man, I thought the physical parts of the game, I think he kind of struggled a little bit there. He's a fast guy. He's quick. But it's just about the physical parts of the game. That's my knock on him. I didn't know he was gonna run a 4.26 though. That's the wrench in there. I thought he was more a 4.3 guy, but yeah, 4.26 is impressive, man. But
that changes it for you?
Nah,
it changes anything for you?
That doesn't really change much. Doesn't really change much.
Okay, let's make sure.
Yeah, he might probably a day 2 guy because of that 4-2.
Yeah.
All right. So we got Turner to consider. Where else are you thinking, Jake?
I mean, I think safety obviously comes to
Yep.
mind first. I think edge might still be an underrated type. Oh man, Harrison's such a
That's your guy, man.
player, man.
Fit.
Ade Adebawore would be incredible for this defensive line up front. I do think Harrison is somebody that the Packers are going to.
Yeah.
Because
The archetype.
yeah,
He's the archetype.
Gutekunst mentioned the depth at a few positions during his interview, and the Packers do like to often target areas of depth in the draft at certain spots. He mentioned edge, mentioned tight end, and mentioned corner. I want to take a safety here, but I have a feeling I think if Zach Harrison's still on the board at 83, that they would look there. I think it gives you a heck of a rotation. Harrison kind of almost feels like a diet version of Gary. It's like the athleticism is there. You can see it. You see how powerful he is.
Yeah.
But he just hasn't put it all together in terms of production.
Right.
That's what they do. And everybody gets mad about it. And then 3 years later, they're right. That's just
Right.
how it goes.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's probably Harrison or a safety here would be where I'd lean.
Drew Hadley, your thoughts?
I think Jake is right. You think? Do you ever think that the archetype thing gets them in trouble, causes them to miss players that they otherwise should have probably drafted? And
oh yeah, we could have a lot of discussion at a certain
Receiver?
wide receiver position about passing up on some guys who are just a little too small. And
Right.
we could have that conversation. That's always a fun one. But yeah, I think
I like. Speaking of receivers, I like those 2 receivers on the board. Rasheed Rice, Cedric Tillman. Both of those guys, especially Rasheed Rice, man, he's a physical guy. You know, could block after the catch. We can work him in because we brought in Robert Woods, but Robert Woods is an older player, probably just a
2-year deal,
a rental, 2-year deal. So we need to develop another receiver, and Rasheed Rice, I think he fits that bill.
I'm a second Rasheed Rice, but y'all know why.
True. I think Rice and Tillman would both be guys they would consider. It's the size thing. They're Tank Dell would be awesome. That'd be fun. Marvin Mims would be fun as well. We know they're a little small,
right?
For how Green Bay operates, unfortunately.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're not even on our board. We don't even acknowledge them.
So
who's this Houston guy? I've never heard of him.
Let's think about it over the course of the next 2 picks, right? So we have 83, obviously, and then 116. If we're thinking receiver with one of these 2 picks, let's call it the second of the 2 picks. Rasheed Rice, Cedric Tillman, all likelihood they won't be available. Do we get aggressive about Tyler Scott? How do you feel about Jaden Reed? If we're just talking receiver, Michael Wilson a little bit later. I think we'd be fine at 116 with Michael Wilson. I think we could live with that, assuming he's the next guy, right?
Right.
Jake, obviously, he's looking at adding and Zach Harrison. Zach Harrison, speaks to him as far as being a Packer because he fits the mold, right? He is their archetype. He's the desired archetype. Very deep class of edge rushers. We haven't added one yet, so certainly that's a direction we could go in with one of these 2 picks. If we're going to go edge rusher, we need to do it now. That's my thought process. Safety, it's the same kind of conversation as receiver, right? I think there may be a guy among these 5 here that makes it to 116, right? And we've given ourselves a bit of a buffer with the bringing back forward, so giving ourselves a little flexibility there. So
yeah,
my thought process is edge, and then we consider the receiver or safety depending on who's on the board. All right,
I'd say go edge. I'd say go Addy, but let's do the Packer thing.
Let's do the Packer thing.
Yeah, and just draft the archetype and Zach Harrison.
All right, we're not so effectively. We're not doing the couch potato general manager thing. We're doing the Packer thing here. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. I like Zach Harrison. I think he's a very intriguing prospect. And to Jake's point, certainly fits the mold in Green Bay.
He's a power edge. He had some big games this last season. He could even rush from the inside on passing downs. I think he has that versatility along that defensive line.
I'd love to rush with power and length.
Adebaware landed in Kansas City.
Short disruption.
Packers can develop what Harrison's missing, or just what we haven't seen enough of. So they've done a good job doing those things. That's one of the certain teams are going to develop talent. So, and I think Packers are one of those teams. It's one of the reasons why they don't do free agency like everybody, like other teams do in terms of spending heavy.
We lost a few of our safeties there over the last.
Jayir Brown.
And our receiver, Mims, Scott, Reed, Palmer,
still
Wilson.
there. Might have to trade back up to secure one of the receivers, but I think we may need to either receiver or safety.
What's your thoughts on Brown, Jake?
Actually, just wrote him up this week. I like it. I think it's more of he's not going to wow you, right? It's not like, oh, wow, he's making splash plays left and right. He's like a Brandon Joseph. He's not that for sure. But like, can you rely on him in the roof? Can you rely on him in the box to make tackles? Can you rely on him to drop, into robber coverage? Like, I think you can. I think there's so much that's good to work with in his profile that I would be comfortable putting him in a Joe Barry defense where, okay, you're in quarters for this rep, or yeah, we need you to drop in the box for a few snaps, like Adrian Amos has often done. I think he can do that. I would be comfortable with that at 116.
Let's do it.
That's that assignment football, be where he's supposed to be. That's kind of how I see him, and where he's and he's where he's supposed to be because he shows up, making the play that he's supposed to make.
Yeah, it's not exciting, but
it's
excellent for those of us who enjoy a Bill Belichick type of thing. A little bit.
That's sound football. Boring sound football. Yeah. Right? Yeah.
Someone didn't take any chances and grabbed a Michael Wilson. So
man, they snuck him.
Just a few picks after we selected. That puts us in the Tyler Scott, Jaden Reed, Trey Palmer area. Not necessarily, as far as Jaden Reed and Trey Palmer, not necessarily the size speed combination that the Packers typically look for, but certainly those guys possess speed. I think Tyler Scott becomes really intriguing here. What are you guys' thoughts about perhaps moving up? We have the 151, the 171. We actually have quite a few picks left. 8 picks, if I'm not mistaken. So it depends on how much you cover the receiver here, or whether or not you're willing to go in a completely different direction.
I'm looking up Trey Palmer measurements right now.
Yeah, I know Reed ain't that tall, so I looked him up and said, "Hey, I don't think you remember him being that tall." And he's not.
Yeah, he's more of a slot guy. Yeah. Jaden Reed's a smaller guy. Tyler Scott's kind of a smaller guy.
I believe Reed plays bigger than his size, though. But
no, he does. Jaden Reed definitely plays bigger than his size.
Looking a little bit further down, I think if they move up the receiver here.
Yeah. We just worry about him creating that separation. Some people were talking about him playing familiar. Tight ends. I'm like, separation. Yeah.
Sounds familiar. Another smaller school guy who went to the Senior Bowl maybe a year ago.
He can't separate, and then boom.
I kind of like Puka. I kind of like Puka for him.
Yeah, that's.
Puka. Let me check because
again, with the Robert Woods edition, it didn't necessarily force us to force our hand here. Obviously, there's some young talent already on the roster. We added Tucker Kraft, obviously make plays in the passing game. I'd like to add a receiver. I definitely want to add a receiver within these next 2 selections. But if you're looking for a receiver with a little bit more size, I think Puka Nacua is the guy that jumps out to me. I also like Jonathan Mingo quite a bit. We collectively love Mingo.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So maybe I got to force it receiver.
Yeah. Now, if you want to add just another burner, then we may need to climb a little bit, but I can stand to let it play out, see what happens at 151.
Let it run.
Hakeem Jarrett's got some juice too.
Yes, he does.
He does. Yep.
Yes, he does. Jaden Reed just went.
They had some receivers at Maryland, just couldn't get them boys the football over there with Tua's brother. He's smart. They went back to school. Tua's brother.
Tua's
brother. He ain't earned it. He ain't earned it. I know I'm disrespecting him, but he earned it.
Jake Bobo.
You know?
Wow.
Yeah.
Big body.
That's a Drew guy right there.
Yo.
Everybody wants this pick. All right, gents.
Well, I got two talented backs on the board.
Yeah, a couple Horned Frogs.
Mm.
Riley Moss is still out there. Trey Palmer earlier. Good ball carriers available. Drew, what's your thought process here? We'll try to get you a guy a little bit later.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
We'll try to get you a guy a little bit later.
Looking out for me.
I like that.
Go interior. Just want to see what that looks like.
We can add a guy or two. We got plenty of capital to work with.
All right. Want Tyler Lacey.
Want to add more depth. We certainly have that option.
Definitely a couple names on there that if Mazi Smith wasn't already
chosen, we could
chosen, and that would be in that nose tackle mold that
Jomo
could help things out.
Brenton Cox fell off.
Yabi had a good combine.
Yes,
they don't necessarily
need a linebacker
represent. Nor is the need huge, but they don't necessarily represent the archetype Green Bay favors.
It's true, but it's too small.
Pair of corners, I like them. We didn't bring Brett Mason Crosby.
Yes. Yeah.
We didn't bring him back. So.
Jed Ryland looked pretty good in Mobile.
Yes, he did.
So, looked pretty good down there.
All right. Jake, what are you thinking?
I think the receiver is probably
where you want to go.
I think the way to go. I have a feeling this could be a Riley Moss spot too. Yeah. I do think Green Bay is going to look at corner on day 3. But man, there's a lot of different archetypes and different talents at receiver that I think are worth exploring. Puka, like you said, is really strong fit there. I would love to take Raheem Jarrett. If he's actually the listed 6 foot 192, we're good.
True, right?
We're good. We're good. But I have a feeling
I think it's a lie. It's a little lie. A little off.
Might not be true.
They may have embellished just a tad.
He might be walking around with them Bryce Young shoes.
On Twitter. The platforms.
Can we stick next to Samori Toure just to see really quick because Samori Toure is like legitimately 6 foot, I think 192. I'm pretty sure. So if anybody's not Samori Toure,
right.
So let's see the corner or receiver. Is what we're saying.
I think we should stick here. I think this is pick your favorite. Receiver and.
We're hoping Raheem Jarrett is 6 foot.
Let's do that.
Sure. Let's do it.
He is as of right now.
As of right now.
Can't prove it wrong.
That's what he's gonna be right now till further notice. That'll be the excuse.
Riley's gone. Kansas City, man.
We should have traded up. We just let it happen. We just watched it. Corian Bennett also the speed.
Bennett would be nice. I think it might be time. We've got the receiving guy. We've got the receiving guy in Kraft. Might be time to double dip.
Oh, Davis Allen, go get my guy.
Stop playing. Stop playing.
Right now.
Stop playing.
I almost forgot about him over here looking at these corners.
There it is. Double dip.
Yeah.
There's a little bit more depth here at the cornerback position.
Yeah. I'd love the compliment there between those two.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Even if I like if you're like me and you think that I think Kraft could take the step.
I think he
as a blocker as well,
yep.
But you're already getting a great receiver out of him.
Yep.
Let Allen take some of those reps early on in line, and you're good to go.
I swear.
Oh my gosh, Kansas City did it again.
I swear the Chiefs keep doing it.
You guys took 5 corners last year. What are you doing?
Like, what's going on?
Come on.
I think they've taken 3 of our players, back to back here with these guys, man. They don't stop, man.
I like Luter.
Just pretty
sticky in man coverage.
Yep. Let's go with us. Let's get us a looter, man. We can't. Yeah. Can we afford to play with the corner position anymore? Do the Chiefs still have more picks?
Because the damn Chiefs are gonna find a way.
Right.
Yeah, we better just get that and roll with it.
Well, let's do it.
Lee, one of the great Packers fans from the channel, checking in.
He said declined 6 figs to stay last year with the Jackrabbits.
Can't confirm that. Yeah. The NIL was targeting big time.
Yeah, we got 5 remaining. So
Let's load up this
Jake is
O-line.
quite accurate. We have a lot.
Take the kicker with 1.
Oh yeah.
Let's get
Do we
that.
need to
Let's
move
get,
up?
Definitely
let's
do
get
that.
Ryland done.
You
Let's
could
get
definitely
Ryland
do
done.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chad Ryland's the guy.
Oh, there go your guy.
You know how I feel about
Is he a fit though? Is he a fit for what they do? Is
I
my
don't
question.
care.
You don't
I don't care.
I don't care. Another Aaron Jones type, a little bit more of a
Yeah.
lightning to the thunder of an AJ Dillon. Sure. Daniel Scott's definitely a fit at safety.
Yeah.
If we hadn't already gone Jayir Brown and had a lot more
Daniel
free
Scott.
agency,
Oh, yeah.
that would be a fit for Green Bay.
Yeah. I give you the
Linebacker
head nod on that one for sure.
On the interior offensive line, how's that
Yeah.
look right now? Mafi's still there? Oh, he is. And Gwynn is still there too.
And Gwen.
And
Yeah.
Zavala. Wow. We haven't done the dip that the Packers love to do on day 3 at
Yes, they
offensive
do.
line
Yes, they
and
do.
find a stud. So who's the stud here? Guaranteed.
Exactly.
Oh, man. Mitchell, though. Measurables can take a hike. I'd do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with
At this
you.
point,
At
I
this
mean,
point.
where are we? 237.
Yeah.
Take
Throw
a
those
shot.
out. Throw those out of there.
Trade down, acquired Broderick Jones, Mazi Smith, Tucker Kraft, Zach Harrison, Jayir Brown, Raheem Jarrett, Davis Allen, Darrell Luter. After being sniped about 5 times by Kansas City to get a cornerback, Chad Ryland to replace Mason Crosby, and then Keaton Mitchell. We couldn't help ourselves considering the explosiveness that he offers out of the backfield, particularly at 237. So back on the clock here. Daniel Scott is still available.
Well, he's still there.
A lot of special team snaps too with him. And that's got to keep getting better there.
Got a couple players here that you could add.
Man,
that down line.
Redmond looks really good.
He did. I like Redmond.
Yesterday. Oh, a Georgia defender still available? Okay. I think we definitely use one of the. I think it's 3 on Mafi, Gwynn, or
I would agree.
One of those 3, I think, would be good to land. But if we want Daniel Scott, it's probably going to happen now. Do the Chiefs pick between now and 256? That's the question.
You can't chance it.
Take Scott. I would take Daniel Scott.
I think it's a good call.
Add Scott to the mix.
And then we come back and see if we can get us a Gwynn.
Yep, they're all there for us.
We got right in front of Kansas City.
Right in front of.
What do they need? What do they need? What do they need? Take whatever it is.
Whatever it is they need.
Take it.
Yo.
Yeah, they need tackles, don't they? Just take one.
Just take one.
No. Any receivers to maybe fill out a room that we're looking for
Wheaton said he's gonna run a 4-2 tomorrow, or whenever it is that the receivers go. That's what he said. 4-2, 4-3. He said, "I don't want anybody to know." It was on a TikTok or a YouTube short I seen. He was talking to somebody. He's like, I'm not supposed to let anybody know that, but that's what I'm expected to run. I was like, all right. Anytime somebody says that, though, I wonder.
Dubose is out here. Yeah. Got a couple suggestions here.
Good with that. I think Grant Dubose should definitely have some favor here, I think, as well.
Yeah, I agree.
Suggestions are good, though. Bryce Ford Wheaton is definitely tall enough to be a Packer.
There you go. He checks the box.
That box is checked. Are you big? Yes. Okay. Excellent.
You're on the board. You made the board. I think how many people we got? 2 picks left?
2 picks left.
Yeah.
It's 256, and what's the last one?
259.
Whatever Kansas
3 picks left. So it's pretty much our world right now.
Yeah.
I think the receiver will be there. I think we gotta take one of the did we take one of the interior guys off the line?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Take one of them 3. Mafi, Gwynn, or Zavala. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Jake, what's the call?
What you thinking?
I think Gwynn. I think that's where I'd lean.
He had limited work at the Senior Bowl, and he fared very, very well. I wonder what it would have looked like for an entire week. I think he came from he played in a previous All-Star Bowl game. I can't remember. Everything's running together for me now.
He got the call up. Yeah, he got the call up. Yeah.
He played well.
He may have been the NFLPA or the I want to say Tropicana or Tropical. Yeah,
wow.
Yeah.
One of those
hula, yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Jovan Gwynn?
I like it. Yeah.
Let's do it. The Kansas City Chiefs drafted another corner, by the way.
Did they?
Yeah,
Sons of
literally spent about 6 picks on corners.
L'Jarius Sneed available? They don't want him.
Right?
He's
Right?
not the guy.
They don't want him. Redmond here. Put the chip on the shoulder.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
really?
Get after some
They're about to
guys?
make me Mr. Irrelevant. I'm one pick shy of Mr. Irrelevant. It's crazy.
Let's show Grant DeBoe some love.
Yeah,
All
that's
right,
all.
Charlotte.
I thought
like
he was
that.
impressive in Mobile. All right, that's gonna do it for our Jake-led Green Bay Packers 7-round mock draft. What do you think, Jake?
I think it's good. I think what was nice is, like you guys do, you do the excellent free agent portion, and you eased the need, I think, at receiver and safety a little bit. I know we still swung twice at safety late. One of those was a little bit more special team, but I think there's nothing wrong with focusing on the trenches early.
Right.
We love to see that. But I think the Kraft and Allen pairing is a really good one.
Yeah.
I really like that pairing. Take the smalls for once, Green Bay, at receiver. Do it. One time.
Just see what happens, right? Like,
One time.
okay.
Just take a look. Maybe Jarrett's 6'1", 192. We'll see. But like,
yeah, right.
and then getting Mitchell that late, that is,
Yeah,
I
that's
really like that.
That's stealing.
Yeah,
That's stealing at that point.
honestly, Luter might be stealing too. Like,
Yeah.
that's at one night. Yeah, that's.
Luter's a good player, man. He impressed me in Mobile. He impressed me. He looked refined. He looked refined. I wasn't anticipating that. You know, and in the one-on-ones, you know, obviously that favors the receiver. There's really no leverage to work with. And, you know, no pass rush, so on and so forth. And I thought he competed and challenged most every rep. So I'm impressed by him, and I think he's going to be a quality selection on day 3.
You get Luter and you get Scott on special teams right away.
Yep.
Let them dominate, earn some time. Maybe
Solid
Jabot
strong
shocks you a little bit with the last pick. I think this is.
Yep.
I think the first 4 picks would be very Green Bay.
Right.
And in that sense, I think the fans might not love it.
Sure.
Yeah, this is the type of start I think they could see. If Smith at 45, with as tremendous of an athlete as he is, and filling the need as, okay, he doesn't have a lot of production as a pass rusher. That's okay. How about 2 gap? Just let our guys in Clark and Wyatt, who I think expect to make a leap in year 2.
Right.
I think the flashes were there as a rusher. You just let those guys kind of take care of a gap on their own and let Smith dominate. And Jayir Brown's probably the 4th round steal that the Packers love to get every year. You know, they got 2 of them last year with Tom and Dobbs. That's probably the one there.
It isn't sexy, and that's really Green Bay's MO. They're not going to force the issue in terms of grabbing headlines, but I think anytime you can bolster, you know, either side of the line of scrimmage, I think that's a good thing. There is an eye to the future with Broderick Jones, and of course he's going to come in and be able to start right away. The Tucker Kraft pick, you know, deep class at tight end. The idea is, particularly we anticipate that the tight end position is going to take a little time to develop. He does have some developing to do. There's no question about that. But I think he can help in your passing game sooner rather than later. And again, didn't necessarily have to force the issue at receiver, but we still come away with Raheem Jarrett and Grant DeBose to a you know, intriguing, young, talented room as it is. So I think it works, man. I think considering the unrestricted free agents that are going to walk, who we ultimately retained and who we brought in, I think Green Bay is in position to compete. Whether Rodgers is there or not, I think Green Bay is in a decent position, if not a good position, to compete in 2023. So I think it just goes a long way being able to control the line of scrimmage at the end of the day.
It'd be interesting to see though if Rodgers does get traded, and they're sitting there at 15, and one of those quarterbacks falls to them. Will Levis, AR, boy,
Not ready for
boy. That'd change the whole face of this thing. Like, wait a minute.
Yeah, you talk about sexy,
right? Yeah,
that's unadulterated right there. So that will be interesting.
Oh man, the first time I saw a Levis mock this offseason, I was like, oh boy, strap in. No, but like that is Will Levis in Green Bay. Yeah, that if he's there, that could definitely happen.
Pull the trigger.
I would. expect nothing less.
Yeah, that is very Green Bay-ish. Very, very.
I love how we've created it. We smile at it, and it's like, oh yeah, that's probably negative, but you know,
Right.
it's a Green Bay thing. You know,
Right. They're probably screaming in the room, yes, you know, fist bumps, hugs, kisses.
Are you sure?
All of
Are
that.
you sure they don't want Levis? Are you sure?
are you sure?
I don't know,
I
man.
can't be. I can't be sure. I don't.
You won't put it
I would
past
never
him.
say
Jake's
never.
not putting it past him.
Listen,
won't.
once Aaron Rodgers is traded, all bets are off.
All bets are off,
All
man.
bets are off at 15.
You know, that rookie contract might come a talking.
Yep.
Because Love only has 1 year left on his deal, so there's that.
But also Jackson Smith and Jigba at 15, no matter what. Sonny Weaver
matter
Jr.
what.
Write it on the
paper,
No matter
and
what.
just
write it on the paper.
tuck it away.
But
all right, Jake, man, really appreciate you joining us.